In all honesty, I never thought I would make a video like this ever, but I was bored and I recently bought and played DRG. So I'm basically going to be covering my experience playing Deep Rock Galactic while also progressing the other classes, because me playing as Gunner the entire time is not going to fly. Plus, I don't want to be dead weight whenever I go back on DRG with friends and get down because I don't feel like playing the other classes. Anyway, with that said, this is my experience and journey playing Deep Rock Galactic. I figured for this solo journey I'd try to get tough to master classes out of the way, and I thought Engineer would be one of those. But then I heard my friend Gear said something along the lines of, "Oh boy, I can't imagine how it went for you as Scout." So that doesn't sound good, but we'll get there eventually. Anyway, my first mission as Engineer, I went back to something basic. Collecting 200 Morkite and collecting 10 fossils, which were in some rough spots that would have been trouble for me if I didn't know how to get it. The mission overall was easy, probably too easy to even be the same difficulty I was expecting from when I've played DRG with friends. One night I went into a call with my friend Gears and I brought up the question of, what difficulty do you recommend? Because my first mission as Engineer I played on Hazard 2. Hazard 3 was the suggested difficulty. So I changed it, thinking it all was going to be fine if it was only bumped one hazard difficulty more. And then I played my second mission as Engineer. So for this mission I had to collect more Morkite, and for my second objective I had to kill 10 Fester Fleas, which by the way are kind of hard to shoot because they're fast. So everything was going fine. I dug through some dirt, collected a bit of Nitra, killed 3 Fester Fleas and a Menace. Searched around, found some Morkite, killed a few spiders, went a little further down, and a Praetorian was kind enough to show its glowing weak point. After that I went to look around to find some more minerals. I took some gold and found Bismore before the swarm started to surround me in a pretty bad spot. I was able to take out most of the swarm, albeit with 2 downs, but it seemed there were still some bugs to squash. Unfortunately my ammo ran out at that point. I barely found Nitro earlier and now I can't call a resupply, so I was letting the Bosco drone take care of it. Why didn't I just set up a turret before the swarm fight? I don't know, maybe I'm just that forgetful. Anyway, I didn't see any bugs, so I went looking for minerals and found some Nitro. Great. One small issue. I was low on health and there weren't any red sugar to heal myself up with. So I had to dip out of there and get some. Then I healed up and I tried to find a good spot to call a resupply. Found some Morkite. Heard that some bugs were on their way, so I called resupply because at this point I really needed that ammo. And then I found something more dangerous than the regular bugs. A goddamn detonator. Which downed me and made me fail the mission. But I guess it wasn't all terrible since I leveled up. That was swell. So obviously I underestimated Hazard 3 because for the first time I played as Gunner with my friends I thought it would be easy. It was not. After that failure I picked a mission that was actually in my assignment. Nearly forgot to get myself drunk before the mission and made some modifications to my engineer's equipment and set off for the egg hunt. The area I was in is basically Rockpox hell, so I was gonna have to watch my step when traversing in this mission. I found some Nitra and Phazionite? Not sure how to pronounce that, but anyway, my second objective was to kill 10 Fester Fleas, but the environment was a lot of traversing up or down, so I had Bosco kill ones that I didn't want to waste my ammo on. I started to dig through to get the alien egg and collected it when I started getting bit by grunts, so I responded accordingly. I had Bosco pick up the second alien egg, completed my second objective, and went a little lower in level, and got enough Nitro to call a resupply. Then I went and got myself a third egg, used the terrain scanner, went below and got the fourth egg, went a little further and got the fifth egg, and got some Bismore. Now all that was left was the sixth egg, which was within my reach. I just had to brute force it and dig instead of going around. Since it was gonna take a bit after I collect the egg, I called a resupply, placed down my 2 sentries, and got started digging. Made my way to the egg and got it out of there quick. All that was really left to do was hold off the swarm, which went pretty good. After taking a look at the terrain scanner again, I found that I could just dig a shortcut out, which would have been way more fitting for a driller than an engineer, but I still got out, recalled the sentries, made it to the beginning, and called the drop pod. One problem, it dropped a little bit further from the beginning, so I took an Uber.
You're heavy.
Nah, that's just the minerals. Anyway, I made it out and unlocked a new gun for the gunner class. I took an assignment to get the Thunderhead autocannon. I went to the mission terminal to pick out the next mission for the assignment, and then saw the low oxygen warning, and got intimidated and just picked out another Morkai mission. Great pick, ain't it? I went to get myself a drink, forgot to tip Lloyd, and headed for my next mission. Drop pod lands and already things are looking up. I collect the first of my second objective and there was some Morkite and a bit of nitra. There wasn't much after that, so I started digging my way to another section of the cave. Found another ebonite, and got some more nitra. I descended a little further only to get a warning from mission control.
Alert! Meteor fragment headed your way. Clear the marked zone immediately.
I nearly died, but luckily for me, Red Sugar was nearby. I checked out what it was, I saw a grunt, shot it, so I started setting up sentries. While I'm fighting off the swarm, I call in the rock cracker pods.
Rock cracker pods are released and heading your way. Hang in there. The wave is almost dealt with. There's a match whatever's left.
After most of the swarm is dealt with, I'm set up the cables for the rock crackers. Find more Morkite, and get to work on rock cracking. Almost immediately the rock cracker pods stopped operating. Didn't take long though to get through.
Good job. Now grab and deposit whatever was inside.
I got out the plague hearts and deposited. Dug out into another path, got a kryptonite. Moving further down, I saw another kryptonite, but get swarmed by some grunts. And then I get a warning for a bunch of more grunts.
For crap's sake. Grunts, lots of them. Heading your...
Called in a resupply instead of for the grunts. I got the other kryptonite and dealt with the grunts. I head further down, found a hotspot for Morkite, and set up in case there were enemies nearby. A bit after that, a swarm was approaching. I got some of the Morkite, deposited, and finished the job.
Leaving escape pod.
Took another assignment, picked the mission, drank, forgot to tip Lloyd again, and headed for the drop pod. I land and I'm almost immediately greeted by bugs, but after I dealt with them I immediately get to work fighting the aquarks. But I don't feel like calling them that, so from this point I'm calling it Blue Crack. My second objective involved getting flowers, but for some reason my speed was increased. Don't know how that happened. I have no idea if that rich atmosphere thingy had anything to do with it, but whatever the case, it helped a lot. Nothing really interesting happens for a while, so I'm gonna be quick. I completed that mission. After that, I prepared for my next mission, head to the bar, didn't forget to tip Lloyd this time, and headed down. This was a Morkai mission again, nothing interesting happened. This next mission, however, was pretty interesting. I don't know how this happened, but for some reason some of the footage audio corrupted. It was only 3 of the footages though, so it's not too big of a problem. It basically sounds like this. So, sorry for that inconvenience. Anyway, moving on. Next mission was an elimination mission. Honestly, not that bad sometimes. I arrived at my destination and got gold and nitra, and started digging my way to start my search on one of the Dreadnoughts. Fucking swell. I get ready to face the Dreadnought and set up the sentries. I get Bosco to shoot a missile at it, and I get a Dreadnought Hive Guard, which isn't so bad, but anyway, this Hive Guard ran away after I took out the first chunk of its health. I was waiting for it to stop bugging out, but honestly I was getting pretty annoyed waiting for the sentinels to spawn. And when they did, I took care of them pretty quick. I had lost a good amount of health though, so I ran for the closest red sugar I could find. Got back to work and everything went back to normal. So normal I got downed. Anyway, I took care of the Hive Guard, got myself some things, and went to look for more gunk seeds. I soon completed my second objective and got to work killing the Glyphid Dreadnought. Definitely didn't get down by the galaxy's most slowest charge-up attack. After I got revived though, he was pretty easy. After that, I called in a drop pod, got to it and finished. Next mission was an on-site refining mission, which also means rail grinding. But before that, how about a drink? Oh yeah, it's building time. Also, my second objective is fossil collecting. Great, but they were pretty easy to find. But now it is refining time. Oh, but first, gotta disable relay. This is only the first time doing that, so of course I fucked it up a good amount of times. But I eventually finished disabling it, the cube was delivered, and now it was time for refining. A rockpox swarm? Honestly, it took a long time to even start connecting the pipeline, so let's just skip to that. Now it's really time to start refining. Oh, and finish the second objective. Awesome. I got downed and at 40% shit started to hit the fan. Fixed the pipelines, hit 79% before the second pipeline started leaking again. Fixed that and held off some of the swarm before I sent the rocket out. Drop pod soon arrived and I booked it and got out of there. The next mission I had to do was a little more difficult. Now I don't know if this was because of me not being careful or if it was just from bad luck, but either way, once I landed I was greeted by a spitball infector and 2 stingtails. I got downed much earlier than I expected. After getting revived, taking care of the spitball infector, and nearly getting downed again, I built my 2 sentries and defended because holy hell, what was that shit? Calming down a little, I needed to get nitra to call resupply. I deposited a bit of nitro before heading over to get one of the blue crack rocks. It was a little tough to see through the lighting of the ice, but I picked it up and set it next to the thingy. I took a bit of time defending before I put 3 of the blue crack I got inside of the thingy. All the while, I'm also trying to find these goddamn fossils. Got a good amount of nitra, and of course I called the resupply pod. It took a while, but I got 3 more blue crack and 4 more fossils, so I'm pretty much almost done with this mission. However, sworn, I went to look for 5 more fossils and 1 more blue crack, and also got down in the process. Alright, so I'm down to my last chance. I probably should have just went and looked for the blue crack and got it out of there. But unfortunately, I fucking fell and failed the mission. Awesome. I failed a few more times and I don't want to drag out this video, so here's a highlight of one of my few failed attempts at this mission.
Box can be extracted from the walls. Search for a blue shimmering light. Get it done, team.
Thanks, Bosco!
And here's a screenshot from when I finally completed it. And now on to the next mission. I got downed by a detonator, fucks. This next mission that didn't end in a detonator explosion is a drill dozer mission, meaning I gotta defend the drill dozer as it's making its way to the Omeran Heartstone. As for why we need the Omeran Heartstone, I have no clue, but it seems worth it. Anyway, doing a little bit of the second objective, I eventually get the drill dozer started, and so it starts. Till it runs out of fuel, and I have to use the canisters to extract oil shale, which are these weird rock thingies which I guess is hardened oil that became rocks. I get the canisters filled, and I backtrack a little and found some magnite. Got that, collected some more of my second objective stuff, and got back to work with the drill dozer. We get to where we need to get the Omeran Heartstone, and I set up my sentries. So it begins. First bar is done, nothing much happened in the second bar. Third bar was kind of a close shave because I got slowed down. But anyway, now I'm at the fourth bar, which is when laser crystals come out. And now that I think about it, the fourth bar was actually a close shave because it dropped to 34% before I quickly repaired it. Anyway, the Omeran Heartstone is now for the taking. I strapped it to Molly's back, called in a drop pod, and booked it all the way back. Okay, I got down, but at least I got out of there. And with that, mission complete. Next mission I get downed almost immediately, but it's fine because I actually completed this time. I took an awful amount of time preparing for this one, and as for my second objective, I left that mostly to Bosco. I eventually get to building the pipelines and get the extracting commenced. At 33%, 2 pipelines malfunction. I quickly get them fixed and things are back in order until pipeline 2 malfunctions, but after that was fixed and the second objective was done, it was time to launch the rocket, get to the drop pod, and leave. Mission success. Now, this next mission was extracting more kites, so all that's worth noting is this. And Illuminite extraction. That's kind of it. Another mission success. Now I know these missions get repetitive, but from now on if any missions don't have anything interesting that happen, I'll just skim over it. Anyway, this next mission is to kill 2 Dreadnoughts again. Oh, but this time the first Dreadnought I fight are twins. In this fight, I had a really close call, but with swiftness and careful thinking, I defeat the Lacerator. Now it's the Arbalist's turn. Oh, never mind then. After getting lost a little, I find the next Dreadnought I have to kill. And it's a Glyphid Dreadnought. Great. At least this one is pretty easy to deal with. After getting down, I get right back up and kill it. I call it drop pod and realize that might not be so easy finding my way back, so I'm just call an Uber.
You called?
Yeah, take me to the drop pod, thanks. And with that, the mission is complete, and it was time to leave. Mission success. Next up, another drill dozer mission. Time to check ahead of the drill dozer. Really getting tired of these cutoffs. Anyway, it's time to start the drill dozer. And same thing happens, the drill dozer's fuel canisters run out of fuel, time to extract the oil rocks, you know the deal. Eventually I get to the Heartstone, but I saw a lithopage corruptor and I think of a wonderful idea. I tried to handle the lithopage corruptor by myself, and Bosco too, I guess, which failed almost halfway through. So let's do that again, but pretend that lithopage corruptor thing never happened. Anyway, back to the Omeran Heartstone, things are going well. Not too much trouble, though I get a close call with the drill dozer. Anyway, the Omeran Heartstone is extracted and now it's time to go. Mission success. I'll go to the bar and get myself a well-earned drink, and head on to my next mission, which was a salvage mission. I land to get some nitra since the area has radiation bugs, which I hate, but then I find something very, very useful. Only thing was that I remembered how Flappy Bird was both the best and worst thing to ever happen in mobile games. Anyway, I eventually get the jet boots, and then get to salvaging one of the mules. And I also completed the second objective, but anyway, I get the second mule salvaged and set up for the uplink process, which didn't take long. After that I refueled the drop pod, which also didn't take long, and leave. Another successful mission. Next mission was on-site refining, meaning more time was kind of taken, but I did find 2 big pearly thingies. And I got a cargo crate. So that was awesome. But now is refining time. I get the pipeline set up, and at 40% of course 2 pipelines malfunction, get those repaired, and the 86% another pipeline malfunction, did that shit, and now it was time to go, and oh my god, I hate the way that drop pod is pacing away like that. But nonetheless, mission success. Next one is a blue crack mission, and I'm skipping it because it wasn't that hard, but it was a really close call for one reason. The drop pod parked so far away and the bugs didn't stop spawning. I made it, but had to wait for Bosco to get there because I had it carry the big pearl over, which was great because I almost died, and it was 1 minute away from leaving, but luckily I took the big pearl, deposited, and dipped. Mission success, but with a very close call. Next mission was yet another blue crack mission, which I stupidly get down once on, but after that nothing interesting happened and I completed it. Another mission success. I wonder what the next mission is. Sabotage. Four levels away to completing everything, and I have to do this sabotage mission to progress. Fortunately, I find jet boots. Just gotta play the Flappy Bird game again. Took a little bit, but I've got jet boots. Maybe luck is finally coming to me? Either way, I gotta book it to the power stations, while also picking up flowers for my date. Date being the Abyss Bar.
Congratulations, you're an alcoholic.
And then I get downed by my own stupidity, and I also find a battery for the cargo crate. Got the loot, went back to the hacking pod, connected the transmitter nodes, set up the sentries, and got to work. Went pretty good for the most part, just had to reboot Haxi once. After that I got to the second power station, called in the hacking pod, set it up, same thing happens, recruited the rival company's robot, and finished hacking the power station. Now it's time to take care of the caretaker. After finishing the caretaker and taking the data rack, it was time to go. Unfortunately, I got down right at the door of the drop pod. Oh shit, now I gotta do the mission again.
Time to collect your paycheck! We gotta hook up that hacking pod to the power station! Is ours!
And it's done. Now time for a drink. Need to kill me some dreadnoughts. And also bees, apparently. I don't know what these things are, but at first I thought I couldn't take out the hive unless I wanted to piss them off and have to chase me throughout the whole mission. Which didn't happen, but the fear was there. Anyway, after careful navigation I come across the first dreadnought cocoon. Set up everything and get to work. Oh, and my second objective was to kill fleas, so that was fun. After I found some magnite and took out some of the honeycombs, I set up to fight the second dreadnought. And it was kinda tough. I needed a more open space to run around in, but after one down, I took the hive guard down, called the drop pod, and got out of there. Another mission success. Next mission is an egg hunt, which I haven't had in a while, and the cave I'm exploring is one that has these red thorn thingies. It really wasn't terrible, plus I got some big rock minerals out of it, so it was all good. I somehow didn't get down in this mission, and after a bit of time I finished the mission. Success. Next is an on-site refinery mission, which when I land I'm almost immediately greeted by a stinktail and some magenta rocks. The second objective was to collect 12 gunk seeds. Also I found a big pearl. Started to collect the gunk seeds at first, and I also found another big pearl too. As soon as I finished with the second objective, I started to connect the pipelines. While that was happening, Rockbox swarm. After I handled the Rockbox swarm and found myself a third big bro, I finally finished connecting the pipelines and got started refining. And like that, the mission was a success. Wait, what level am I with the engineer? The process of making this video has taken some time and also my storage space on my drive. We're finally at the last part of this video because honestly I really don't know if I want to continue this for 2 more classes. This was a lot as it is, so I'm not asking much, just some interaction, a comment, a like, something so I know that I should continue for 2 more videos. I am now at a point where no matter what I can't allow myself to fail a mission. I've come pretty far, pretty fast to fail now. Plus this last stretch is honestly just to unlock 1 more modification slot for my grenade launcher secondary. I know I'll still have to promote my class once it hits the limit, but for now I'm just going for level 18. Back to the video. This next mission is an elimination with a rival presence warning. I'm definitely a little intimidated, but I've got the firepower to overcome it. My second objective is collecting 10 fossils, by the way. Anyway, I'm trying to get to one of the Dreadnought cocoons and along the way collect nitro for resupply. I also find Crappa along the way, and I also found one of the Dreadnought cocoon. I set up the sentries, collect a little more of nitro, and get started. And maybe it's because I got a little rusty because I hadn't played in a few days, but I get down pretty early in the fight. I do, however, bring it down to its last bit of health. But as I'm resupplying, I get hit by its projectile and I get down a second time. Not looking good, but I get up and finally defeat it. Now I'm on my way searching for the other cocoon. And since there is a rival presence, I also stumble upon multiple turrets. Luckily, there's a controller I can disable. Just gotta hack this real quick. Okay, come on. Are you fucking... Oh. There was a yellow wire, I didn't see it. Huh. I ended up spending quite a bit of time looking for more fossils, but after I get the 7th fossil, I kinda just let it go, just until I defeat the next Dreadnought. Speaking of...
Why, my man? Why they suck like? Loot bug, loot it!
Activate the transponder on the mule. We'll send in an extraction pod to pick you up.
And just like that, the mission is finished. Kinda. I still gotta look for the last 3 fossils. Eventually I find them, deposit, call the drop pod, and leave. Mission success. Next one is also pretty interesting. It's a blue crack mission, but now there's a rich atmosphere advantage, with a shield disruption at disadvantage. This should go well. honestly, that was pretty good. I got no downs this time. It didn't bring me to level 18 though, so I'm not done just yet. There's one last mission I have to do. And it's a sabotage mission, with a low oxygen warning and a volatile guts mutator. Never had the volatile guts one before, so I guess I'll find out what it is. I land and get to searching for the power station lines, and I see the first bug enemy, a Praetorian. I take it down and, well, I figure out what the volatile guts mutator does. It's actually pretty neat. I could see how it could help, but currently the top priority are those power stations. I found one of them and get started connecting it to the hacking pod. This time I had to reboot it 2 times, but I didn't get down at least, so yeah. Anyway, the first one is finished. Now it's time for the second one, which I discover is not that far from the first one. So I set up, get started, finish, and now it's time for the caretaker, and wow, what a great start. Sandstorm, eh? Cool. Though somehow I didn't get one down during this fight. Guess the experience kicked back in after that elimination mission. But I took care of the caretaker, and now was truly the last stretch. I have to make it all the way back in one piece. It's over. Just like that. I finally reached level 18, unlocking the last modification software engineer, and now I can end this video. In all honesty, this really didn't have to be made, but I wanted to, so now it's here. Though, I'm glad I'm able to get this up, even if it could be the first and last time I do a video like this. But that's just a possibility. For now though, that's it. Laters.